Hi, my name is Valentina, and today we're going to be talking about how to keep up and not miss on when inspiration strikes you. What to do, how to act on it, and the benefits of acting on it. If you're a content creator and you've been doing it for a little while, the inspiration, I already learned to identify it at this point, will really strike you at the most inconvenient times. It's never when you actually sit in front of your computer and you think, okay, now I'm gonna sit and write my script and everything's gonna go great. It's usually when you in the middle of cleaning and some kind of an idea for a thumbnail or for a video or for a newsletter comes to your mind, or when you're working out, or when you're taking a shower. And by identifying it right there in the moment, you need to learn how to capture it. Otherwise, it's going to find another creator. I heard about the whole notion that when inspiration strikes you, if you don't act on it, it usually goes to someone else, to another creator, because it needs an outing, per se. So I read about it in Big Magic. I hope it's visible. Yeah. It's an amazing book by Elizabeth Gilbert. I always try to inspire myself somehow, and not necessarily through social media, but the good old way. So she shared this story that she had an idea to write a book about Brazil, about how they were building a bridge in Brazil, and like all the challenges with the construction and everything. And it was supposed to be a love story at the same time, how like two people meet there. And then something came up in her life and she never acted on it. Years went by, and then she ran into this writer that she was admiring, and they were talking, they met for a coffee, and this writer is telling her, you know, I'm writing a new book and I have this idea. And this writer was writing about the exact same topic as Elizabeth Gilbert had an inspiration to write before. But because Elizabeth thinks, and that's the notion I got from the book, that if you don't act on an inspiration, it will find someone else that will act on it. And you know, you shouldn't take it personally. You should understand that if something strikes you, you need to do it right away. So eventually that other writer wrote the story. It was slightly different, but the basic idea was the same. So that kind of left an impression on her. So she shared it with us, and it left an impression on me. But sometimes when I hear about an app or something, someone came up with an idea, I'm thinking, I thought about it not too long ago. Like, that's the whole thing with an inspiration. If you don't act on it right away, it will find another creator. One of the positive and big things when it comes to inspiration, it's the uniqueness of it, because each and one of us have different type of inspiration depending on what kind of project we work on. If you are constantly dreading and thinking about something that you're supposed to do, and you're looking for ways to be creative about it, your inspiration will come related to this particular project. Like, I consider myself a YouTuber at this point, so when I want to feel inspired about something, I constantly think about that topic. Like, I wanted to do a video about inspiration because, I don't know, a couple of things gathered together and I thought it's a good idea to share them. And these titles and thumbnails ideas and what I should add extra to my script were coming to me as inspiration, and I took it as a sign. So whatever you're working on, if you're going to be giving it some thought, you will see, I guarantee you, that the inspiration will hit you at random times related to this particular topic. So uniqueness of your ideas are going to come from you slightly overthinking about it. It's going to be such a motivation boost when you feel inspiration. You are motivated to sit and do it, to work on that project, to finish writing that book or doing that script or writing that newsletter or finishing a project that you were on. So it's definitely a very big push for someone who's lacking motivation. When inspiration hits, try to act on it, and you will see how motivation is gonna amp up a lot of it, I would say. Personal fulfillment is another positive influences of inspiration. You're definitely gonna feel proud about yourself. I don't see anything wrong with you being proud about yourself. And when you're gonna feel that proudness, you're gonna feel more inclined to start on new projects, to take on new projects. So it's not borderline narcissistic if you're just giving credit to yourself for the work that you put in. Enhanced productivity is another side effect of inspiration. You are going to feel that much more productive because you are working on something that inspired you. It's like a closed circle. If you feel inspired, you get the motivation, then the productivity kicks in, and it never ends if you know how to actually act on it. So if you're lacking productivity to some degree, it's going to feel to you like play, and you're definitely going to do a better job at it, and you're going to be that much more productive when you act on your inspiration. Inspiration can overcome procrastination. It will be the drive behind your laziness to some degree. If you're going to feel inspired on something you have been procrastinating, you are definitely going to move that much faster to finalize it, to take the next step with whatever project you're working on. So if you are a procrastinator, never miss on those little sparks that come as inspiration in your life and act on them. If you feel inspired to work in the morning, then you should definitely do that. Not miss on that inspiration window. Okay, now let's talk about how to capture those little inspiration. Obviously, digital never disappoints. So I am a big fan of Notion. They're not sponsoring this video. It's just that I always mention this app because it was such a game changer, not just when it comes to being a YouTuber, but also to personal life. I have grocery lists there. I have my pregnancy follow on there. I put pictures. You can add pictures, notes. It's a fantastic app. I truly recommend it. And I can have it on my phone and on my laptop. So whenever I feel that something comes to my mind, some kind of an idea, I always put it in my Notion. It right away saves on my laptop, which is a very good thing. So whatever you are into, definitely try to have pen and paper everywhere. I don't have one in a car, and I definitely should, because sometimes you don't always want to reach for your phone, or you are on the phone with someone and that person said something that inspired you in the moment to remember that phrase. And it's a good idea to have something non-digital. Digital is digital. It can break, you can drop it. But have a lot of notepads everywhere. If you have the freedom to always pull out your laptop, that's definitely great, because it gives you a little bit of more structure, as opposed to at the end of the week gathering whatever you wrote where and making sure you save it somewhere. So when I feel like I want a new idea for a video and I don't feel like watching another creator's videos to feel inspired, I go through my notes. I go back through my notes because I don't always transfer them from soft copy to a hard copy. So a lot of times I just go through my notes. I even go through my journal and I pick up on idea. But when it comes to inspiration, yes, don't always rely just on digital. Look around you, go for a walk, sometimes a walk, being in the nature, go for a jog, go on a treadmill. If you feel like you're uninspired, you have to move. I feel like physical movement does the trick. Physical movement definitely makes me a much more inspired person, because you go in nature, you never know who you're gonna run into or what you're gonna see. So it's always a good idea to rely to some degree on physical movement to bring you inspiration. Every time I lay down my mat, whether or not I feel inclined, like stretching and working out, this is definitely a big step towards a habit. And this is an idea on how to start your morning. It's usually meditating for me or reading a book. But today I'm going to stick to meditation. Voice memos, another really cool thing if you want to rely on digital. I used to do it like a lot. If I would listen to Audible book, which I don't know why Audible wouldn't do that as an option where you can save a particular phrase. Maybe they do, I have to check the app. Anyways, I pause the Audible and I go to my voice memos and I repeat whatever I heard. But it's just, for me then, it's such a hassle to like re-record it, re-listen it, and then put it into my laptop or write it down by hand. So I find it's a bit of a friction, so I don't use it a lot. I gave it a try, but it never stuck with me. But if it's your thing, voice memos is another thing that you can definitely keep track of your inspiration, of your ideas that come to you. Other than that, Please do comment. Let me know, how do you nurture your inspiration? How you take care of it? How do you take down your ideas? Maybe there's some kind of a new app I'm not familiar with. I'm sure there's a lot of apps I'm not familiar with. But when it comes to keeping ideas down or writing things down, and if you're a creator like I am, I would definitely be much more inspired to hear, how do you get your ideas? Where do you get inspiration from, if not watching other creators? I'll see you in my next video.